What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Alarm Fantasy Football. I am Howard Bender. With me, of course, Britt Flinn Andrew Cooper, and we are getting ready to start up once again another Underdog Best Ball Draft. That's right. We've been doing them here. We did one yesterday. We're going to do another one tomorrow. So if you guys want to get in on the action here, especially if you're a first-timer playing on Underdog, well, you're going to have to make sure that you give a follow here to Coop, at Coop A Fiasco, at Britt_Flinn, and at Roto Buzz Guy, and let us know that you are ready to start drafting alongside with us. If you are new to Underdog Fantasy, this is the perfect time. I mean, the contests are still rolling right now. Big tournaments available. Their weekly winners contest looks like it's absolutely spectacular. So get your buns over to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM, and that'll get you a match deposit up to $100. So easy peasy. It doesn't get any easier than that, does it?
And Howard, I have an article coming out on the new game they have. Have you seen that one? The Eliminator?
I have not seen the Eliminator. Do you want to tell me about it?
It's cool, man. It's cool. So it's a normal 12-person draft. That's how it starts. And then week one, they take the two bottom scores from every league. They're out, right? And then they take those people that advance and put them in a league of 15 people. And the two bottom scores from that, you're out. And every week, they're just chopping people off from the bottom and they're eliminating teams from the bottom until the very end. There's, one champion that wins a ton of money. So, but if you make it to week 13 and beyond, you finish in the money. So all the teams that make it to weeks like 13, 14, if you get eliminated week 13, you make X amount and so on until the end. But it's kind of cool where it's like, if there's a lot of strategy to it. A guy like Jameson Williams, you can't really draft him, but because he's out 6 weeks, you could get eliminated before he even plays. So I'm going to get into a lot of that strategy. It's a really cool game. So a lot of cool stuff going on over there.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on over there. Absolutely. And I'm sure that it's going to change some strategies as far as bye weeks. We know the week 13 and week 14 bye weeks, which are problematic for everybody in giant tournaments. Well, this at least that paying out that is certainly going to help. So without further ado, we got people waiting for us here. So I'm going to join the draft right now. And oh, baby, we're going to get our screen shared here by, I don't know, Coop will do it. Maybe Ernie will do it. And we're going to be underway. So the draft will start in 55 seconds. Everybody get ready. Oh, where the hell am I drafted? Ugh, 7th. Oh, jeez.
There it is. Okay. So we got the draft board up. We got the draft order going. We got some new folks in here. So if you're in the chat, hanging out today for the first time, let me know what your username is on Underdog so we give you a shout out. I know you mad bro, he's drafted with us before. That's Tool Time, Howard, so we know him. J-Rod is new, Scooter's new, the Put Up is new, Bougie Sports is new. I think that might be Yvette. D Burden.
Oh, Yvette.
Yeah,
I think it might. There's, Nick Chubb's going off the board right there at 1-5.
I know.
Well, if you guys know Yvette, Nick Chubb's off the board.
That's how we'll know if it's her or not. I'm not sure if she's in the chat. Then we have Howard at 7. Michael Chasko, he's been hanging out with us. He's in at 8. EB Brown. EB is in there. He's new as well. Then you got your boy Sauce McFloss, of course. Britt Flinn is 11, and Fantasia Fun also a new one. So I mean, Howard, a lot of new folks, just like we wanted. So this one's all new people. Tomorrow we're going to give people first dibs. So especially if you're in the Fantasy Alarm Discord, if you're a Fantasy Alarm member that's not done one of these with us, you're in tomorrow, no matter what. Send me a DM, send me a message on Discord, send me a message on Twitter. You get first dibs, and then we'll let people trick in like Tool Time trickled in, Icy Through, and Jack Straw. Those guys are probably top of the list there. But we're giving a lot of new people a shot, and we're off and running. You mad bro with the first pick, Justin Jefferson.
30-second clock. This moves real fast, so you all got to definitely pay attention to what we've got going on with that. So yeah, all right. Listen, Jefferson Chase. No matter what, we know that's typical. Again, I'm waiting to see what happens in these middle rounds. I already have my targets all set. Let me ask you guys this: how much does draft position matter for the two of you guys? Like, do you have a favorite spot where you've been drafting from this year? Do you have a distasteful spot? What are you looking at?
I've done so many drafts that it doesn't really matter. I've kind of got a strategy going for every single draft position, but that just comes from practice. And that's why you do these underdog drafts. They're not only do you get a chance to win real money, but they're practice for your home leagues. You get to kind of shuffle up and experience different draft positions and different strategies. So I kind of prefer being at the end, although I would like if Coop wasn't right next to me so we don't snipe each other this whole draft.
I'm just gonna do a full sellers and just not even take my own guys. Just you.
Let me just let Joanna know you can't see the board. If you're looking on the page, you'll see like there's like next to your name, like in your team section, you'll see like a little checkerboard in there. You just click on that, and that'll shoot the board right up for you. Oh, goodness gracious me. Where to go? Where to go? I think I'm gonna buck the usual trend here, and I'm gonna take Nick Chubb.
Do
because
it.
Bougie Sports did not. Took McCaffrey, which, listen, I can't, I can't falter for taking McCaffrey in that spot simply because, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, rarity that they jump over McCaffrey. Well, maybe not Kelsey in this format.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Coop.
I'm with you, Howard, 100%. I feel the more I draft teams with Chubb and Saquon Barkley, the more I look back and I feel real good about taking those two players specifically. Like, no problem at all with them in the first round or in the second round. And that's why, to answer your question, right now I would take Saquon, but I'm going to take Britt's favorite player. So there's Bijan off the board. But I have no problem taking either one of those guys in the first or second round. So to answer your question, I do like picking towards the end of the draft.
Sellers, you weren't invited into this draft. You've been drafting with us nonstop. You've been sniping all of Britt's picks. So either, I don't know, do your route, mow the lawn, make some lunch for somebody today. How about like a nice chicken salad sandwich on rye with some bacon on that? How about that's what I'd like for lunch today, Sellers.
Let's go, Sellers.
And I got the full government name treatment in the chat. That's
I know, that means rough. You're in trouble. That means you're in trouble. That's the middle name come to if Sellers doesn't get into tomorrow's draft, the middle name's coming out too, and then you'll be in big trouble.
Right. Yeah, we're not trying to do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Tomorrow's draft, I think we're going to have more of the veterans in the draft. So like Sellers, guys like that. Today we just had an outburst of new people that wanted in. And I'll tell you this, if we do have a bunch of new people again tomorrow, I already said it in the Discord, I'll set up another draft and we'll just do another one, maybe on Friday.
I'll bump the veterans. Listen, you guys have done so many drafts with us. This is about helping. This is about helping people get into Underdog, understand the fun that we're having over there, understand the amount of money that you can make playing on Underdog. All of you veterans that have drafted with us constantly, you guys have been through it. You know what's going on. You don't need to draft alongside us for the millionth time. So let's kind of keep that in check for me, please, will you?
I'm not sure. So Skinny is Fantasia. I'm not sure how he snuck in here because Skinny's been in plenty of these with us too.
So there you Colin, go. You're a terrible gatekeeper.
He said, well, I think on Twitter he hit us up on Twitter. That's how he got in. But Colin Rafferty's in. He is the put up. So if you guys are in the chat hanging out, drop your names so we know who is who. Not a lot of Twitter names are matching up with Underdog names. I mean, mine doesn't match up.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Sauce McFloss.
I know, right? I don't even want. What is the origin of Sauce McFloss, please? I'd like to know.
Honestly, it's from back in like college. Me and my buddies used to we used to just have a couple beers and do like freestyle rap battles. And I called myself A Sauce at some point, and which turned into Sauce McFloss. That's been my username for like Xbox and stuff going way back. So yeah, your boy Sauce McFloss. I also don't want people, if I'm just in a random draft room, and I see the name Pete Overzet in there, I've already seen enough of his stuff that I know who he's taking. I don't want people to know that, I don't want it to say Fantasy Alarm Coop and then everyone knows that I'm waiting on tight ends and they're sniping me on Dalton Kincaid. I don't want people out here to know.
That's the price you pay for being a fantasy analyst there, Andrew.
I know.
You have to learn that everybody is reading you. Everybody's going to use your picks. I've done numerous drafts with the family where my picks just get sniped left and right. You have to be willing to accept that. You have to be willing or able, should I say. You have to be able to pivot. That's one of the reasons why when we did that first mock draft, and you guys can check out that first mock draft that we did in the Fantasy Alarm draft guide, which if you don't have, I don't understand why. Go to fantasyalarm.com/draft and get yourself that. Well, get yourself the all-pro package is what you really need to do. And take like a 7-day free trial and then check out all the offerings that we've got. But most importantly, take a look at that first mock draft, because what I did specifically was take all of Coop's guys.
Yes.
Just so that I could see where he would pivot. Because listen, we can give you the plays left and right. I can give you my favorites. Coop can give you his. Britt can give you hers. But the bottom line is what happens if somebody else takes that guy? And then where are you going to pivot from there, specifically in that round? So I think that's a very, very important aspect that I don't think a lot of analysts pay attention to.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, like I have no problem with it. Like we knew what we were getting into when we put our hands on that draft guide and we were sworn in as fantasy analysts, that we would be unbiased and that we'd be willing to give out our information to help everybody else. But I will say this, in best ball, it hurts you more than anywhere else, because in regular leagues, the waivers are so important and you can use your skill set and it doesn't matter who has your rankings because you can always win on the wire. In best ball, this is it right here. If they have your rankings, they got you, so just another reason why redraft is better than best ball, right, Howard?
Oh, I mean, listen, I'll give you a million reasons why redraft is better, but for the same token, I don't know, 60, 70 best ball drafts into it here on Underdog. So
yeah, I'm way deep too. Yeah. Britt, how many have you done, Britt? I know you've done a ton too.
I don't even know. I stopped keeping count because my best friend slapped me on the hand last year every time I did a new draft. And I was like, it's my job. I have to. And so I would tell him that I joined a new league and he would just he goes, hand. And I would stick up my hand and he'd just smack me. So I stopped keeping count. That way, when he asks, I can honestly tell him, I don't know. And I don't have to deal with the hand.
See, I know for a fact, like I have a secret. I know she's not watching right now. I have a secret checking account strictly under my name that I have fantasy sports money in, and that's all I use it for. Because if she saw just how many best ball drafts, how many like -$5, -$5, -$5, -25, -25, -$5, like she would be like, what the hell? I don't even want to add it up for her. So, and listen, if anybody outs me on that, I will cut you off 100%. I will never answer another fantasy question. You will be fired from Fantasy Alarm. And yes, Skinny, you will be cut from my best friend status.
That's right. And I'll tell you this, in the chat, Colin Rafferty says, I'd be interested in a best ball mashup where you don't need to set lineups. There is a format for that. The Raz ball, if you can reach out to those guys, maybe get in that. They do best ball where they do 2 waiver runs a year. They call it better ball, but I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So let's talk about this draft real quick. Britt, I knew you were going to take Gibbs if I didn't take him. So I kind of leaned into the possibility that I would get to stack Mark Andrews with Lamar Jackson if I let you have Gibbs. So it was very gracious of you to not take Lamar Jackson on the way back there. But I got my Mark Andrews Jackson stack, and now I'm not going to worry about QB and tight end for a long time, which it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I've got a plan. I'm going to take some value down later on and just get my guys.
Yeah.
And I think that some of these guys that I'm looking at will fall to me later on. So I'm just kind of banking on that. I really like that I already have 3 receivers, especially what was that 5 in a row that went off in the 3rd round. I mean, they're flying off the board here. So I'm really happy that I've got that starting 3 locked up.
QB slid a little bit here, Howard. This looks more like a redraft league than a typical best ball, right?
Thankfully, I'm telling you, QB ADP this year has been absolutely bonkers because of best ball, because of stacking, because everybody's in on it. We talked about this yesterday. I've got a guy, and I'm not going to out him, but he does run a fantasy site. And this dude keeps hitting me up trying to justify or at least get me to sign off on Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round at the 2-2. And I'm like, dude, I cannot sign off on that. Yes, fine. If you're so hell bent on having Jalen Hurts on your roster and you want to go A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts with your first 2 picks, and you don't think that Hurts is going to come back to you in the 3rd or the 4th round, which chances are is he's probably not going to, just based on what we're seeing in ADP, then go ahead and do it. But I will never, ever, ever endorse taking a quarterback at the 2-2 just because you're A, looking to stack, or B, because you're a fan.
Fully agree. I will say where EB got Jalen Hurts, I was absolutely going to take Hurts if he was there. He took him 1 pick before me, and Josh Allen, where Skinny got him at this wing there, no problem with that. But I just hate the way my team looks if I take those guys in the 2nd round.
It does kind of lock you up. The only exception that I will make is a Travis Kelce Mahomes stack, because they are so just with Kelce and the positional scarcity, it's worth it, in my opinion, to do that stack. I'm really surprised that J-Rod did not take Joe Burrow in the 4th with Chase, because that stack seems like something that fell a little bit below ADP that you could have made work. I was really shocked that that didn't happen.
Agreed. And right before him, Scooter had T. Higgins. So they kind of, I wonder if the 2 of them, J-Rod and Scooter, if you guys are in the chat, let us know your thought process. I wonder if maybe they were like, I'll take Burrow next round. And then Tool Time, who is you mad bro there, was just like, no, not on my watch. But yeah, that's a tough one. The put up got his pairing of Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert, which is one I just talked about this morning on the morning show that I love. That one I'm taking all day long if I can do it. Now I'm on the clock.
And we were talking
there's another
about
one right there. And I'm curious as to how I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but to take a QB or somebody to block a stack, like, I mean, listen, if you're going to take Pat Mahomes, you're going to take Pat Mahomes. If somebody else has Kelce, and, I mean, Mahomes still obviously on his own is 100% great. But, for example, here, did Tool Time really want Joe Burrow there, or was he defending himself against the possibility that these guys are looking to stack the Bengals?
Yeah, that's a good question. I agree with you, Howard, though, that you really shouldn't do that on purpose unless it's one of those ones where you just want to like get Britt all riled up. But besides that, you really shouldn't reach. Spite reaches are how you hurt your own team. Right.
If you want to know how to get Britt all riled up, all you have to do is say, Britt, just roll your cursor over the player's name of the arrow. Like, just start mansplaining things to her that she knows how to do. Frustrates her to no end.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
After that comment yesterday, can I just say, stop calling women females?
Oh my God. The comment we got in the chat that I don't know if the person meant it the way they said it, but good Lord, man, you gotta stop that.
Yep. We gotta have some respect. Respect my authority and my team. My team's looking really good here.
Right. That person was like, good take from a female. I was like, if you were at the expo at the Queen's Classic, you would understand that it's not a matter of male, female, whatever. It's a matter of professionals versus amateurs, and the room of professionals at the Queen's Classic was horrifying. Like you guys were sniping each other. Every strategy under the sun was pulled out. And I think if the average fantasy gamer got a chance to see a draft like that, they would have a lot more respect, which they should already have.
No, I was scared. I thought that there were going to be fights. There were people yelling at each other across the room. Like it was getting spicy. Heated.
Who got heated the most at the Queen's Classic? Like if there was one person who was just on tilt for the majority of the draft, who was it?
Oh, Lauren Carpenter was very vocal.
She's funny.
But she never said that she wanted to fight somebody.
Yeah.
Faith Enos was throwing out, I'm going to fight you, which was hilarious because they were sitting across the room from each other. And so it was really fun.
And again, you Howard, Linda. So Linda's just throwing out comments, also just getting people going, just kind of tossing them out there like, oh yeah, nice pick, So it was fun to watch, I will say.
Yeah, I was a little bummed that I didn't get to pop into the Queen's Classic because we were doing a snake draft and followed it up with the auction, and that was a lot.
Let me ask you about the auction, because I got to catch a very small portion of the auction, and somebody threw out Rico Dowdle for $1. The Cowboys, backup to the backup to the backup. Do you think that he's getting overlooked, like as maybe being the RB2 in that offense, or was that just kind of a dart throw shot in the dark? Because I'm curious as a Cowboys fan, I have no idea what's going on.
I think it was just a shot, not necessarily a shot in the dark. You're looking at the fact that, do you believe that the Cowboys are going to bring somebody else in? And if you don't believe that the Cowboys are going to bring somebody else in, well, then you have to assume that there's somebody that's going to be doing the between the tackles work. And who is going to be that guy? And it's not Deuce Vaughn. So if they want to, kind of bank on Rico Dowdle doing that, you throw him out super early in the draft. Everybody else kind of sloughs it off. And then all of a sudden you get a guy for $1 who is potentially, rock solid. It was like Treylon Burks. I did an auction a day or two after Burks got hurt. And all of a sudden, like, nobody was bidding on him. I ended up getting him for $2. I was like, oh, okay. I threw him out early because I figured, okay, this is going to be this could be a very nice, grab and stash, depending on what the injury was. We didn't even know how long he was going to be out for, but I knew it wasn't season ending. And so I'm like, screw it, man, for $2 to grab him. I'd watch monkeys throw poop at each other at the zoo for $2.
Right.
Totally.
Usually you have to pay extra for that.
Usually you do.
Rip Harambe.
I'm loving my team right now. My team is exactly the team that I like. And my boys, like Howard let me get Miles Sanders for once ever. So that's a good feeling.
Dude, do you see how loaded I am at running back? How am I getting like Mixon and Najee in the 3rd and 4th round of a 12-teamer?
I love Mixon, man.
I love Najee, and people are so polarized on him because of that whole efficiency metric, but the volume is there. I mean, I love it. He's going to be the guy. They bulked up that offensive line. That was a main problem last year. I mean, come on. This guy's one of the few bell cows left in the league. What's not to like?
Forget what anyone else says. Matt Canada straight up said Najee Harris is RB1 on the depth chart.
Yes.
Every other coach out there, no matter who it is, says, oh yeah, we're going to use both guys. We have Thunder, Lightning, blah, blah, blah. Matt Canada comes out and says, this is RB1, and everybody else is behind him. Like, what more do you need to hear? What more needs to be said than that? It's,
not to mention the fact that they improved their offensive line, both through free agency and through the draft, right? They traded up with the Patriots just to take Broderick Jones ahead of the Jets because they knew the Jets were going to take him.
Yep. And that put the Jets on full-on tilt. You knew that they were going to take them.
Because
he really succeeds in run blocking too. That's his strength.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones, because you look at what all the Shanahan coaching tree guys want to do. You have that, the 49ers have Trent Williams that can actually pull. Like he gets out, he pulls as a tackle, gets down there. The Mike McDaniels went and got Teron Armstead. That was the one player that fit that mold in this draft, and the Steelers traded up in front of the Jets. I know they kind of pretended like they weren't going to take him. I really think the Jets wanted Broderick Jones there.
Oh, I know the Jets wanted Broderick Jones. I spoke to people within the organization who said that they were fucking pissed off that trade went down. Like they were like, that's fucked up. And you know what? I don't mean to use bad language here on the stream, but
we're all adults.
Man, that was
you're just quoting.
That was dirty pool by the Patriots. That was 100% dirty pool by the Patriots.
That was tool time taking Joe Burrow to block those stacks, right? It looks like McKinney. It's a regular family draft out here because now it looks like Michael Chasko is complaining that he got sniped by McKinney. Like this is skinny McKinney. This is great, dude. This is exactly what I like to see. The family coming together to snipe each other and give us a real look. Now he's got to pivot. His stack got sniped. I want to see who he ends up taking now. Chaska doesn't have a QB yet.
It's a regular old Thanksgiving dinner here at the family table.
That's right, dude. Skinny snipes Chasko's QB. So Chasko turns around and takes Michael Thomas, who's my guy. Like it's turned into a bloodbath.
It's just rolling downhill.
It always does turn into a bloodbath, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Where am I going to go with this next pick here? Oh, I'm running out of time.
You're so balanced right now, though.
I know, but I feel like I want a QB, so I'm just gonna, you know what? Screw it, man. I'm gonna take Daniel Jones, get some rushing upside from my QB.
There it is. Impemba's in. We talked about it on the show before this. Check out the Quick Out podcast. We just broke down quarterbacks, but Daniel Jones ran for 700 yards last year, and the sports books MGM has him set at 575. I'll take 575 all day long, right?
Yep.
Like that's going to be like just 500 makes you like a top 5-6 rushing quarterback, right? Like the back half QB ones in terms of rushing are like 250, 300 yards. 575. Hell yeah, dude. Great floor with that type
Oop,
of.
you're on the clock too. I don't know if you know.
I was aware.
Okay. Also, I think that prop is at plus odds, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Guess I'll just take Traylon Burks.
You know.
Oh man, I don't know where I'm going with my next pick here.
Oopsies.
I knew that was going to happen, but luckily I still got the Dak CD stack, so.
Oh, there you go. You know, I was thinking about taking Dak because I have Brandon Cooks. I was kind of contemplating that one for a little bit. Oh, Chasko says Richardson to the moon, huh? I thought about taking him too. Just don't know. In the meantime, I can remind everybody out there that if you have not yet signed up for Underdog and you want to get in on one of these drafts, first of all, if you're watching us on our Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, thank you so much. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button too, please, and help us out as a company, as family. And then listen, if you've never played on Underdog before and you're watching this stream and you're like, damn, I want to get in on one of these drafts, we're doing another one tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here. We're going to live stream it just like this again. And you can go over to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use that promo code ALARM and they'll match your deposit up to $100. And then just, hit us up on Twitter. You've got all of our Twitter handles there at RotoBuzzGuy, at Coop A Fiasco, at Britt_Flinn. And pony up right there for it. You'll definitely be psyched to jump in on one of these drafts. Definitely psyched. You know what? I'm just going to go back-to-back QBs here and not have to worry about it. It's an all New York state of mind for me. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers. Damn, that Hard Knocks. That Hard Knocks has ruined me. I watched Hard Knocks, and I'm ruined now forever. I love my Jets beyond belief, and now I'm doing stupid things like putting money on them. I'm drafting all their players. So bad.
I mean, I am head over heels with the Darren Waller stuff, so I don't blame you. But yeah, that'll get you. And Britt, I took Traylon Burks, so on the way back, you took Dalton Kincaid. Let's call a truce, okay?
I forgive but never forget.
That was like instant karma. 2 picks later, if I had just gotten, I should have taken Kincaid instead. Wish we could trade.
Right. Yes. All right. Let's see. This quarterback run has gone crazy over the past 2 rounds. I've got to lean forward like a little old lady because I can't see the draft board on here.
Like sitting there with the glasses. I'm like, huh? What?
Yes. Oh man.
In addition to all of these, the best ball contest, the weekly winners, the eliminator as well. Guys, Underdog Fantasy has some phenomenal pick'em contests as well. You just have to go and look under the NFL tab. Click on pick'em, go to the NFL tab, and then they've got full season stat lines. They also have week 1 stat lines already sitting out there. So that you guys can take a look at some stuff. There's definitely some very, very, very cool stuff happening here as far as this all goes. So again, fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use that promo code ALARM and get that 100% deposit match up to $100.
We love it. Love free money.
Ooh. Well, I got to tell you, I'm looking at their pick'ems right now, and they've got all of these week 1 lines already. You might want to take a look at some of these numbers for certain players, just because, we're still kind of in an early spot here in preseason. Oh, it's up to me to draft, isn't it? Damn. Uh-oh. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it.
No, you got it.
You'll be fine.
I have faith in you.
Oh no. See, this is what I get from pivoting off of it. Where is it? All right, I'll just take, give me, Rishi Rice.
There you go.
Oh, that's the boy.
It was like the first name I saw, too. I was like, oh, well.
Game's
You
too
really
easy.
built it up there.
It was very dramatic.
Thank you.
Dramatic.
Thank you. It's, you know, I'm
It's
trying
the theater training.
Theater.
Classically trained actor. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You and everybody else in
Alright.
San Francisco.
San Francisco? No, dude. I'm a New Yorker. I just relocated out here.
That's right. I
That was
forgot
That was
New
the
York.
deadhead mothership calling me home. Had nothing to do with theater out here.
You can't take the what is it? You can take the New Yorker out of New York, but you can't take the New Yorker out of the New Yorker. Is that the saying?
You can take the New Yorker out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of a New Yorker.
That's it. You still got New York Howard deep in there, ready to crack skulls.
That just sounds like a tongue twister here.
New York Howard. Railroad.
Railroad.
No. Nope.
I can't even say the first railroad now. Like I swear I've snapped something in my brain with the word railroad.
It's like you say it too much and it's not even a word anymore.
Not even a word. All right. I'm gonna have to
Man.
take my second quarterback, even though I don't want to.
Yeah, I waited too long on my second.
Derek Carr.
So I think that we're going to get to see a lot about the Saints offense this weekend because they already came out and said all the starters are playing and they're playing 2 series. We're finally going to get to see how that offense works. And I, for one, am very curious about how they're going to look because I'm not necessarily a full believer in Derek Carr.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But I'm excited to see Michael Thomas outscore Chris Olave in fantasy this year. That would just be hilarious.
That's not going to happen.
We say it's not, but it's within the realm of possibility.
You know what? I'll tell you what, it depends on how well Michael Thomas is getting along with Dennis Allen and how well he's getting along with Derek Carr. Because the moment the passes don't start going to Michael Thomas and he starts pissing and moaning,
That's true.
Right? The moment that Dennis Allen tells him to shut up and just play the game, like the moment that happens, Michael Thomas's toe is suddenly going to start getting a little cranky. I guarantee it.
Hey, the thing is, though, the thing with that is the contract is set up in a way that he can't just be like, I quit, because the 1/3 of the contract is incentives. So I could definitely see the bitching though. If the targets aren't there and he knows that he gets 10 million, guaranteed, but he gets 15 million if he hits the incentives, then yeah, you better believe there's going to be some squeaky wheel business going on if he's not getting those targets. He's not scared of getting on the X app and telling everybody how he feels.
But do you think he's made enough money that he just doesn't care anymore? Like, there's got to be some point. He hasn't played in the past 2 seasons. He's been getting paid for not playing. I mean, at some point, do you think he just throws in the towel?
I don't
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. If he's not getting along with those guys, then
I think he comes back and he's Michael Thomas and he's awesome. I think he was awesome last year before he hurt his toe.
He was pretty good. I have to admit, I lost week 1 against him. And then he went away.
three touchdowns in 3 games, was on pace for 90 receptions, which would have been top 10. And then he hurt his toe and had to have surgery. Surgically repaired toe is fixed up, ready to rock and roll. Michael Thomas, we're in, and we're big fans.
So you're saying he's a poor man's Rashad Bateman?
I think I also
Rashad Bateman last year, first couple of weeks, that dude was money in the bank.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he hurt his foot and he was destroyed.
The difference is, to me, is that Michael Thomas so far, all reports are that he's looking pretty good. Whereas Rashad Bateman, I'm really scared now that he's still not practicing, still getting shots in that foot, still not practicing. So I might have to take Rashad Bateman off the board.
Well, he's getting all disgruntled also. He's pissing and moaning. They had all those private workouts with Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, and Odell Beckham down in Florida, and Rashad Bateman wasn't invited.
Ooh, that's not.
Yeah, but he was still healing though.
Look at that comment from Dame Overboard.
I'm not putting that up. I'm not putting that up.
Keyshawn Johnson walked away early. Why did he walk away early? Because he was pissing and moaning. He even wrote a stupid book called Give Me the Damn Ball. Dame overboard. That's why I love you, Darcy. I'm telling you. Scampers, I'm coming for you, girl.
Keyshawn Vaughn was also awesome, though, just like Michael Thomas. So we'll have to see.
Did you say Keyshawn Vaughn?
I said Keyshawn. I definitely did not say Keyshawn Vaughn. I would never say that.
Keyshawn Vaughn.
I thought it.
I said Keyshawn. I said Keyshawn Johnson.
Did you though?
No, I 100% said Vaughn.
Did you?
Yeah. Can we scroll the board down while we're arguing about what we said?
I just want Coop. I just want Coop to plant his flag on Keyshawn Vaughn for some.
Oh my Lord!
I don't scroll the board until it's absolutely necessary because Howard does not like when I'm over here moving my mouse around and scrolling stuff around. So
well, you can scroll the board down. You don't have to like sit and move your mouse around excessively.
I do have to use my mouse sometimes. I'll
shout out to Rick Wolf. If anybody's ever been in some sort of like a conference call with Rick Wolf where he's sharing his screen, oh my God, that dude, like clickety clackety, clickety clackety, clickety clackety, like it's everything's moving over, everything's being highlighted. I'm like, what's going on with the screen? I'm about to get vertigo.
Yep. Yeah. Can't. I was only in a few meetings with him. And I was like, somebody needs to mute. I don't know who, but somebody does.
I just did it. I took Raheem Mostert over Devon Achane. Mostert has just been the starter. He looks better in the offseason. I'm worried Achane can't even pass block. I've moved Mostert ahead of Achane. It stinks because we want the rookies. They're more fun, but I don't know, man. I think Achane might just be there as Mostert insurance. Where are you guys at with that?
Yeah, he's going to have to put on some weight for sure, which he already has apparently. And the defender still like picked him up by the jersey in the preseason
smashed
game.
Him on his shoulder. I will say this for Achane. I think next year he'll reach his full form. He told us that he has never had a full off season to put weight on because he's always done track and field.
Yeah.
So, if so facto, you can't, if you're playing football all year and then running all off season, you have no time to put on muscle and gain weight at all. So I do think he will in this league eventually make the same transformation that guys like Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler did, but I don't know if it's going to happen in however many months it's been. 6 months. Nah.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. I typically say a year or two to actually go through that process, go through the nutrition and strength training to actually build that weight. Unless you're juicing,
right?
It takes time.
He will, and he'll play anyway when my guy Mostert gets hurt, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway,
well, that's why I took Wilson right after your Mostert.
I know.
Very curious. Okay, so now that it's my pick and I can take him, I can ask you guys this: how concerned are you about not just Josh Jacobs not signing, right? But Josh Jacobs signing, starting to play, running at full speed, and then massive soft tissue damage because the dude hasn't been in camp the entire time. Hamstring, groin, calf injuries. Like these are the main injuries that happen. So why am I getting Zamir White here in the 14th freaking round?
I've seen him go as early as the 9th, 10th round. Even John Impemba said that was too early for him, and he's been on the Zamir White wagon. But yeah, I think that's a great pick there.
Because people don't like the Raiders' offensive line, and they don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why he's going so low. And also, there are very few pure handcuffs in this league. If Josh Jacobs goes down, I think that Josh McDaniels is going to run a lot more of a committee backfield approach, and people aren't sold on White as like the Madison to the Dalvin Cook situation. I don't think that he's going to be that guy. It's going to be a lot more spread out.
But who's in that backfield with him? Like who's there with Zamir White?
Well, it's all gross. I'm not saying that the committee is going to be good.
Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden. Damian Williams.
Former Super Bowl winner, though.
Right. Put some
who else
spec
is
on the
former
name.
Super Bowl winner? Joe Namath, and I still wouldn't draft him.
In
reality or fantasy.
Joe Namath actually, he quietly has pretty terrible stats. Like I know it was the era, but even other guys from that era have better stats. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Joe Namath.
Yeah. Guys, that was the joke. It was the joke.
Okay. That's fair. With my next few picks here, I'm just throwing ADP out the window, and you'll see some picks where it's like what, but I really don't care. I'm gonna draft a bunch of guys some guys that are just completely undrafted. and we'll talk about them. But
You're going to
spoiler,
draft guys who are completely undraftable.
guys that go undrafted in virtually every league. I got a couple of them that I'm looking to take. A few of these guys are popular names, but I'm excited for some of these picks.
You know who I'm going to take? I'm going to take this guy who just got back to practice today from his separated shoulder. How about tight end Mike Gesicki?
You mean more of a big wide receiver?
He's more of a big wide receiver.
As
Bill Belichick, he's more of a big wide receiver.
As Bill Belichick would
French fried potatoes.
Dude, he is such a like, well, actually, neckbeard type guy, right? Well, actually, that's like a Belichick.
Well,
like the comic book guy from The Simpsons, right? He's like, well, in episode 17B of Itchy and Scratchy, he hit the same bone twice and it made the same xylophone sound. Like, that is Belichick with these reporters every time. But I'm with you, man. Guys like Dalton Kincaid, Mike Gesicki, if they're going to play wide receiver, like Mark Andrews does, and Travis Kelce, 63% of his snaps at wide receiver, that's the secret formula. That's the sauce. So give me those guys. Give me Mike Gesicki. I'm in. Here we go.
What are the chances that Hunter Henry, like they do kind of a double dip situation there with Hunter Henry too?
Absolutely. That's what they did back when Bill O'Brien was the coach last time. 2011, Rob Gronkowski was the inline tight end. That's the Hunter Henry role. He finished as tight end 1 in fantasy football. And Aaron Hernandez was the move tight end, which is the Mike Gesicki role. He finished as a tight end 3 in fantasy football. Now, the big difference is that Tom Brady was there, and now it's Mac Jones. So I'm not predicting them to be tight ends 1 and 3, but there's a world where that's possible. And in that season, Wes Welker got 173 targets, which that's Juju Smith-Schuster's role. So I can see all three of those guys kind of doing enough to be relevant in best ball. I don't see why not, right?
Yep. I had to debate Gesicki versus Henry last night on SiriusXM, and that was one of the toughest debates I've ever had to do. I think I couldn't reconcile who I thought was going to be better, because I do think that they can both be very good.
Yeah, that's the thing is that, so Hunter Henry, they do different things, which is good. Hunter Henry is so good versus man-to-man. That's why he's always a touchdown threat, is that one-on-one, it's very difficult to find a linebacker or safety or cornerback that matches up with this big oaf. You know what I mean? That can create separation and kind of push off at the right time. So that's why he's so good in that area, and why he's a best ball pick too. But I think Gesicki's the guy that's going to get more targets, and that's what we really chase in fantasy. So my last 2 picks, I'm already taking 2 players that don't even have pictures on here. Rashid Shaheed, which I took at this point to stack with Derek Carr. He's an explosive play guy. The next guy, Michael Wilson, who at times going undrafted, but I love what I see from him so far in preseason. And he's maybe one of the few guys left here that I could see playing a full-time snap share in 2 wide receiver sets opposite Marquise Brown.
But is that Cardinals offense going to be good enough to even warrant fantasy production at all? Or are they just going to score like 6 points every time?
I don't need them to be. So for regular redraft, I'm not sure if that offense is going to be good enough to give you consistent production. But even the worst teams, every other week or maybe even once every 3 weeks have players that have big games. Like there's no team in the league that just has no player that ever does anything. Every once in a while, even on the worst teams, a guy goes out and has a Tyler Algier game, or has 100 yards and a touchdown. Like, that's all I need from guys in this range. We're looking at either guys that do nothing, or guys like, the Tyler Boyds of the world that are just kind of meh, versus, hey, maybe this guy will pop for a couple games and crack my lineup a couple times. So that's all I'm looking for at this stage.
Yep.
But I guess he's also a rookie, and he's on one of the worst teams in the league, so maybe he will just be terrible.
Yeah, that's my concern with him. I don't doubt his talent and his size, especially in that wide receiver room. But I think maybe next year or the year after that is his year.
Well, I mean, the good news is that he's already playing ahead of Rondale Moore from what we've seen. I mean, it's still preseason, but he started opposite Marquise Brown, and then Rondale Moore came in off the bench, and it makes a lot of sense. Rondale Moore, if you're going to be starting the game with a run play, why would you have Rondale Moore out there over Michael Wilson? Michael Wilson, he's like twice the size of Rondale Moore, so that's the issue sometimes I run into with guys like Rondale Moore, Tank Dell, is that, you can't have them out there every single play. I mean, I guess you can if they figure it out, but those guys are going to get run over in the run game.
100%. Ugh, it's yucky down here.
It is yucky down here in the final round. First and foremost, thank you everybody who's joined us here for this draft. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of the possible middle of your day. It's definitely the it's late for some people, and then we appreciate that. Again, we're going to do another one of these drafts tomorrow, so you're definitely going to want to take a look. If you are a first timer on Underdog, well, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM. Get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. And Coop, one of the things that actually some people were kind of asking, are you looking to do any of these drafts in the evening at all? Some people are tied up during the day with their jobs. And wondering if we're going to have any of these evening drafts. I didn't want to put any words into your mouth. You let us know. So
we've been doing there's a whole crew that's been doing them with us all off season, and we were doing Thursday 7 to 8 p.m. Now that's kind of my time to watch the baby, but I can watch the baby as long as we're not doing live streams. I can watch the baby in one hand and do drafts in the other hand. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to stream these. Like, we're streaming these during the afternoon right now, and we hope you guys appreciate at least the commentary that's going on and have taken advantage of comments in the chat and things like that. But yeah, just for doing some of these at night, just to kind of pass that time. You got the baby there, you got the bottle,
right.
Click in.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do one tomorrow night. I'm sure we can fill a 7.
We got other stuff. We got other stuff cooking tomorrow night. We're recording our flag planting
the flag plants
show. So for anybody who wants to know, that's going to actually be airing either late night on a Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, or it's going to be we're going to broadcast it on Friday during the day so that everybody can check it out. But it's the three of us along with Kev Tompkins and John Impemba. And we're doing it. We're planting our flags in certain players. If you guys checked out fantasyalarm.com today, you saw Howard Bender's fantasy football fades for 2023. That article is free, and just head on over there and go check that out. I'm sure it'll upset some of you. It's already upset a number of people, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. But tomorrow night we record our flag plant show, and that's going to be the who are our guys, like who are the ones that we are drafting every single place that we can draft them, or at least just the names that we're shouting from the rooftops that you guys are snaking from us in these drafts. Either way, yes, scampers, this is live, 100%.
It's like in Spaceballs, where you're like, when does this happen? That's this is happening now, sir.
Wow, I thought you were a little young for a Spaceballs reference, but that's okay. I'm proud of you.
Mel Brooks.
I've never seen Spaceballs.
Oh, you got to watch every movie with the name Mel Brooks tied to it, Britt. That stuff is timeless, man. Timeless.
I've just watched The Holy Grail like 50 times. Does that count?
That counts.
No, because that's it's British humor, and I don't know if you guys happen to have a sour taste in your mouth about the Brits, but not Britt Flynn's, but I mean the people from across the pond, those dickbags. Yeah, I'm just I'm anti-British. Bunch of tea sucking limeys. If I could dump all the tea into the frickin' bay, I would.
Yeah, the what's the one with what's the Western one? The Mel Brooks one with the guy from Willy Wonka.
Oh, you're talking about Blazing Saddles.
That's the one I would watch first. I'm not sure.
That is a classic. Sellers, I already handed my article to Fantasy Receipts. I actually told them yesterday it was coming, and I tagged them today. So by all means, Nom, 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 nom. Right? I want to eat because I want to shit on everybody's dreams about Jahmyr Gibbs, about Austin Eckler, and a number of other players.
Listen, I don't sleep a lot, so my dreams are very precious to me. I would rather you not shit on my dreams about Jahmyr Gibbs. They're few and far between.
If your dreams had a chest, I would shit on them.
This chat, we've gone off the rails. Matt Deutsch he did say we could say whatever we want on here. He might have to circle back on that. So hey,
called into HR.
At least the whole chat's like Blazing Saddles. Everybody knows that.
They got it. That's your homework, Britt. Watch that one. And if you like the Star Wars movies, then you have to watch Spaceballs because there's so many good jokes in there. But I want to point out Michael Chasko said, is it risky to take? I lost the comment, but he goes, 3 rookie QBs. Is that risky? His QBs in this draft are Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Is that something you guys would ever pull? I mean,
I wouldn't do it.
It's wild behavior.
I think he was waiting, on that Tua pick to come back around. He got sniped on that. Then that big quarterback run happened, and all of a sudden the options were just very, very limited. I don't think that it was a plan. Yeah. I think that it was just out of necessity.
He's got some correlation there. I'll give him that. So he's got Anthony Richardson. He circled back and grabbed Josh Downs. He had Nico Collins already. So then he grabbed CJ Stroud. So, you could combine for some weeks there. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's a little too much risk.
Yeah. I mean, it completely goes against the dynamic tier rankings. Like you don't have anybody there who's a high floor QB.
Exactly. You need at least one. You need at least one. My policy with the dynamic tier rankings is get at least one guy from the left and at least one guy from the right. If you're going to draft 3 quarterbacks, if you draft all guys, and what I mean by that is we break it down into safe guys versus upside guys. If you're going to draft 3 quarterbacks, if you take all 3 safe guys or all 3 upside guys, you're setting yourself up for a world of hurt.
Yep, we want to be like Thanos, everything balanced.
Dude, if you want to talk about being the villain, if my last 2 picks are any good in fantasy football, Twitter is not going to be happy. The last 2 players I took back to back were Chase Claypool and Allen Robinson.
No, they will not be.
Imagine those 2 just come back from the dead. Everyone's like, "What the hell? What the hell is going on here?" But hey, there's a path. There's a possibility.
There's definitely a path. There's definitely a possibility. Oh man, I so wish that I was Thanos, just so I could just snap half the world away. Oh yeah, I'm a crotchety old man. What are you gonna do?
Be wild, dude.
All right, I'm wearing Frank Costanza cabana wear right now. I'm ready. I'm wearing some shorts with some long black socks and some sandals.
You got the pen.
Not wearing New Balances?
You got the pen.
Not today. I only wear those when I go out because apparently, according at least to our good friend Mark Brownstein from the Disco Biscuits, my New Balances are cool and in style, and therefore I wear those out. When I'm here at home, I'm barefooting it, or I'm in long black socks with sandals.
You got the pen that the astronauts use to write upside down, right? All right. Well, let's before we get out here, let's look at this draft. Besides your own team, first 5 picks. What team you like? We got some pretty interesting builds here. I was looking around and I really like EB's team. I like the Stephon Diggs, Tony Pollard. Stephon Diggs and Tony Pollard is a strong start, and then Jalen Hurts fell in his lap. And I love the idea of going heavy RB early and then loading up on wide receiver late, which he did. So I do like EB's draft a lot. Any other ones that jump at you guys?
Ooh. Scroll back up. I literally cannot see anything.
I mean, I kind of like Fantasia Fun there at the on the wheel. Barkley, Amon-Ra, London. He went early with Allen, but still had some good balance there. I like his RBs with Barkley, Akers, Tank Bigsby. I'm not so sure about how deep it goes beyond there, but he's like a Bijan Robinson injury away from dominating.
Right. And honestly, Josh Allen, we will say, quote unquote, early at quarterback, but that's below ADP for Josh Allen. So I don't mind that pick there at fourth round, Josh Allen for sure.
I think I really like Bougie Sports and what they did there. McCaffrey falling to the 5th pick, then getting Mahomes. The wide receivers are really solid with Cooper, Ayuk, Smith and Jigba, Sky Moore. And then you've got Aaron Jones, who I think is being really undervalued. And then the tight end situation. I mean, Cole Kmet finished as tight end 8 last year. Not necessarily that he's going to do that again with DJ Moore, but he has a path there. And then Hunter Henry, like we were talking about. So I really like that team.
The fact that people forget that Cole Kmet finished tight end 8 because he started the season with straight up back-to-back zero spots. So everybody already wrote him off completely. But from week 4 on, Evan Ingram was tight end 4 and Cole Kmet was tight end 6. So it's not like we were completely wrong with the upside picks on those guys. It's just they started off so bad that everyone just wrote them off, you know.
Well, in that first game was like a deluge of rain. I don't think that
Right.
Any stats should have counted in that game against your fantasy points.
And I tweeted this out earlier. That's why we go yin yang tight end, because Zach Ertz, I told everybody, pick him, start him for 6 weeks while Hopkins is suspended. He was tight end 3 for those 6 weeks. You had 6 weeks to find somebody else. And then when Hopkins came back, the targets went down and then he got hurt. So the plan was in place. Everyone just had to execute.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here today. Again, we're going to do another one of these drafts tomorrow. So hit us up on Twitter and we'll be able to get you guys into a draft. Again, if you're first timers signing up over at Underdog, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use that promo code ALARM for a 100% match deposit up to $100. Do that, then hit us up and we'll get you into tomorrow's draft, 2 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it. For Britt Flinn, Andrew Cooper, I'm Howard Bender. Big thanks to Ernie Acosta, our producer. We'll catch you next time.